What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Lucid, give you a quick overview of some of the data points, what's really moving it today, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So Lucid is down 2.3%, $2.24 the high, $2.14 the low. So today, a lot is going on in the broader market, a lot of optimism. Some analysts are starting to come out fairly optimistic about next week, about the jobs data, as well as JP Morgan did state that they're estimating for the December 18th meeting for it to have a 50 basis point cut, which in my opinion is kind of abnormal and contrary to what the data is saying. But regardless, the market is absolutely loving the optimism. No news associated to Lucid today, no SEC filings, nothing along those lines. But at the same time, shorts are returning 1.41 million shares. 24.56% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 292.89 million shares overall are being shorted. So today is rather odd as the fact that shorts are returning this amount. It's been a while since they've returned. They've been pretty holding strong, but in general, I think that's more of a sign that whoever is shorting Lucid is foreign entities. As I said, today was going to be a key day to analyze, so that's how I see it, of course, but I could be wrong. The only thing that's really come out that is worth bringing up is essentially this right here, just the fact that Lucid is kind of advertising. So they are spending a little bit more on that at the target areas. So in Phoenix, for instance, and a couple billboards as well. So of course, I think generally a lot of individuals who have a lot of money go to Phoenix. So I think it's kind of good. They're hitting the target market. So in general, pretty good stuff. But one thing that is really driving it higher, aside from just market optimism and shorts, is it on a technical stance. So $2.14 was a strong support. So it did bounce off of that general area. So whenever you do bounce off of a strong support or resistance point, it usually causes some consolidation, whether it be up or down. So I think that's one thing that's really propelling it higher. Next stop potentially could be $2.64 based on the fib levels. Moving over here on the actual chart itself. So I have the ALMA, 50, 100, 200-day moving average, super trend, and then stochastic RSI. So right now it is getting above that ALMA. So it is showing some signs that it wants to break higher. So I think in general, that's kind of a good thing. Of course, from here up until kind of the 50-day moving average is roughly $2.71, so very close to that fib level. So in theory, yes, assuming jobs data comes out, good, as what analysts are forecasting, then you could see that coming to fruition sooner rather than later. Could be wrong, though. We'll just have to wait and see. But I think that would be a pretty good return on investment if someone does get in here, and if it just goes to this level. One thing as well I just wanted to share with you is going over here, you do have a lot more optimism when it comes down to options. So 231,000 in calls, 886,000 in puts. 79% of all the options being done today are optimistic and bullish, and of the call options that are being purchased, you see a consensus for it to be above 250 for, it looks like, the foreseeable future. And this one kind of stood out, so you have some optimism for it to be above 450 by March 21st, 2025. So I'm not really sure. That would be encumbering clearly their year end, their Q4, and I don't think they'd be announcing their Q1 just yet, because that would still be in that time period. So maybe it's gravity related or some other catalyst, but that one is definitely standing out. And then looking at the bears, they're kind of anticipating for it to be sub $2, but still very low amounts for that. So you are seeing a surge of optimism when it comes down to Lucid. So like I said, technicals, shorts, broader market optimism are some of the things that's really propelling it higher. And then just based on this, you have 3 transactions occurring on the secondary market, all buys, and that's piggybacking off of the good amount of buys that did occur yesterday. So far, 3 transactions, 178, 216, and then 624,000. So pretty good stuff in that regard. So what is your viewpoint on Lucid? Do you think it is going to get to roughly kind of this range over here, so that 260, or do you think it's going to kind of pull higher? A lot of articles are starting to come out at the same time saying that Lucid is very just oversold. I think a lot of them don't really actually explain it, why they feel it's oversold, aside from just on a technical stance. So I think just Lucid with the Gravity coming out, it's a matter of time, right? So I'll do a video in the next little bit on some realistic expectations and what you really want to hear from Lucid. But yeah, honestly, I think that Lucid is finally ready to move higher. Of course, Gravity and data, that is what is going to really solidify this. So jobs data coming out next week and whatever else. But yeah, I think higher highs might be coming in the foreseeable future for Lucid. So give yourself a shout out if you have been buying, if you've been selling, and what you have been doing with Lucid. One final thing I just wanted to share with you though, I did launch a Patreon where I'm giving buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto, many of which have been absolute home runs. So pop over there, take a look. And as well, I do have a section on here where you can actually have learn about options. So beginner, intermediate stuff is posted already. If you're looking for more advanced stuff, I'll probably be posting that over the weekend. So definitely pop over to Lucid or to my Patreon and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.